what's up everyone? Omar Farouk here. Welcome to this glorified tutorial where I'm going to showcase my workflow when it comes to creating eye-catching, scroll-stopping, irresistible YouTube thumbnails. I'm actually a YouTuber myself. I have a personal brand on YouTube called Build with Omar where I cover a range of content surrounding my journey as a founder of tech. So this includes videos comparing the best web building platforms or no-code software, marketing strategies, managing teams, just generally my experience as a SaaS startup founder. And of course, I need very eye-catching thumbnails, and I've built a powerful workflow within Glorify to make sure my process is efficient. I can roll out thumbnails quickly, they're designed beautifully, and more than anything, they captivate audiences because that's the game I'm in. I want people to search for my content or search specific keywords, stumble across my content, and click mine over other recommendations. So Glorify is super ideal for this, and I'm going to show you how. So let's jump in. So here's my account. I'm going to go into my personal brand called Build with Omar, and you can see all my different files here. Very important, I've set up my brand kit here. And this is super ideal because I can centralize my assets such as my logos. In this case, my personal brand, the logo is my face. And then I've got my color palette, this is the color palette for my brand, and my brand fonts. I can also create text styles if I want them. So using my brand fonts, I can specify the color and the font size for better efficiency. Now, I'm gonna go into my design. I do have exit the brand kit. I have a YouTube thumbnail project, and that's the great thing about Glorify is that within my Glorify project, it's just super scalable, the workflow. I can just throw my ideas on this infinite canvas and just have complete freedom, throw inspirations, and just get the ball rolling. Now, today I need to launch a video, which is a collaboration with Wix. They recently gave me access to their new Wix Studio platform, which I'm super excited about. I requested early access a while ago, and they finally gave me access. I've done a review of their product, and I want to launch that video. So it's about Wix Studio. Now, the first step is I want to duplicate my thumbnail. I've got a bunch of thumbnails already, and this is sort of my templates. I don't necessarily delete any old thumbnails. I keep them there just in case if I want to use them again. They're an asset for me to always come back to, right? So I always keep these things readily available for me at any given point. In fact, let me duplicate this one. This has got a good structure overall. And from here, I don't need any of these images, so I'm going to delete those. These have some very specific effects. In fact, I've got some layers in here are locked, so I'm going to delete those. This was a previous video I did for Framer. Now, let's go ahead and type the title of the video. This video is called Wix Studio and Agency's Dream Hub. Let me try and see if I can fit everything in here. Okay, let me add the subtitle. There we go. So that's my first iteration. I think we should get some colors on this text. Let's pull some of my brand colors. Great. I think we can go with green for this one. An agency's hub. Or we can switch it up. I think let's go with the opposite way. So I want the Wix Studio to stand out, let's just say. So put that there, and Wix Studio can be paper, or yeah, that's the paper color that I use. Great. Client management here can be orange. So I typically use the orange to really make things stick out. And that looks good with the little text. Now we need the logo. So I'm going to head over and look for Wix Studio's logo. Great, so I think this is the one I've typically seen. I'll copy this one, and it's just as easy as copy the image and pasting right there. It really is that simple. But I don't know if this is the one I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna throw a few options. And again, this is what's super powerful about Glorify, is that you can just throw the options you want and see what sticks. Okay, I like this logo. It's decent, it's square, and let's simply crop it. So I'm gonna hold Option on my keyboard, I believe Alt on Windows. I'll double click to go into the crop mode. There we go. I'll use the corner radius adjuster to get more rounded corner radius. There we go. Okay, so there's my logo. I am a little bit worried that the colors might be all over the place, but let's test it out. So I'm gonna scale this up. And I always like to keep my logos and the brands that I'm working with or presenting in my videos to really stick out. And I try to create this 3D effect where I throw the logos on so it looks like it's just kind of getting chucked in the air. Yeah, and so I've got that effect already. I want to add, you notice on all these images, there's this noise effect. So I want to add the same effect over here too, which is, I believe it's a layer. Yeah, so I'm using a layer in here. Let's go into my layers and they should be, there we go. Yeah, that's the layer I'm looking for. So I'm going to copy that and paste this right here. And there we go. So we've got that nice noise layer over there that's giving this beautiful texture, which is what I needed. It's already set up with the right transparency. It's actually a PNG that's see-through, so it gives you this effect on anything that I use. You can find similar effects if you scroll down to effects, and you've got a bunch of stuff here that you can use to get similar kind of effects overlaid on your designs. Now, one thing I do want to make sure is that this layer, yeah, it's locked. So if it's locked, it means that I don't keep selecting it. This makes it a lot easier. Okay, this is looking already good. Now I need a picture of myself. That's what's important. And the best way to do that is simply take a picture of yourself. Okay, so this part of the process for me is very simple. I need to take pictures of myself. As you can see, that's the theme of my YouTube content. I typically show a picture of myself depending on the content, and I need to do it based on the content. So Wix Studio and agencies, Dream Hub, I think I want to do something like maybe try one that's pointing and maybe a few variations. So take a few. Okay, so I got a couple of pictures of myself and I'm going to select them and simply airdrop them to my computer. So that's my workflow. Airdrop my pictures to my laptop. Once I've received the pictures, I'll simply go to my downloads, pick all of them and drag and drop them. Again, that's the beauty of Glorify. As you can see, drag all the pictures at once, and just like that, I've got all of them available here, ready to test and try them out. Another thing that's worth noting is that I can remove the background directly from here, which is really, really ideal. This one looks quite interesting to me. I feel like it looks positive, it looks like I'm dreaming, and it's, I'm talking about in the thumbnail, dreaming of the agency's dream. So this might be the best, most relevant one. All right, so off the bat, the background removal is really good. So I just want to fix this glass bit. It's a great thing about Glorify's background removal tool. You can tweak anything that you edit. This integration has been phenomenal for Glorify users, of course. We'll add some of the green back. I can see some of these details of the glass being removed, which I don't want. And just tweak it a little bit to get it a bit more accurate. All the way in here. And we'll get the yellow tool to just soften the hair. Okay, now let's go into the cheek area. I think I should remove some of this stuff. Maybe some of it just got blurred. So I'm gonna remove a bit of that and bring this bit back, and there we go. So that looks, I think that's realistic. Got the hair done quite well and the details are preserved. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now you could edit some of the, the contrast and effects directly on this tool. It's got an option to adjust the colors. You can choose auto levels and you can, try different things. In this case, I'm just gonna use auto levels and not mess about with the other settings. I'll do the rest on Glorify so I have more flexibility. So I'll click done, because once you do it on Clipping Magic, it just freezes the results. This, and we'll flip it horizontally, looking good. And now let's use the effects tool to pull down the saturation all the way to 0, because that's how I typically have my video content. We'll make the brightness a bit less, so just in the minus zone. So around there. Contrast looks like a bit overwhelming at the moment, so we can fix that by going to contrast, and we can just reduce that ever so slightly. There we go. Fantastic. So yeah, that's looking good already, and we can send this to back, and I can figure out the rest. So the rest is the Wix Studio text. That's important. I'm going to push this a bit further back, and I feel like this text can be bigger. I used to have bigger text in the past and they just perform better. So I'm going to push me all the way to the back, slightly overlap the Wix logo, but make this really big and center that up. And maybe we can scale this down a little bit. It doesn't have to be this big. And okay, so we're gonna just reduce the size in here, because it's really about trying to get this Wix Studio logo in somewhere that works. So somewhere around here perhaps, and I think maybe this pencil thing might be too much, so overkill. Let's just keep it really clean for this one. And let's scale the logo, in fact. Let's scale it a bit more. There we go. That's beautiful about what Glorify's crop features. You can zoom in, so you can get the exact crop you want. Super helpful, man. Super helpful. Great. Wix Studio, if I push this around here, then it looks like I'm looking at it. I think maybe get rid of this text. Doesn't need to be there. Scale it down just a tad. It's all got to fit. So just small adjustments, you know, just to get it perfectly right. Bring me down so that I'm looking directly at the logo. We can scale this up now. There we go, nice overlap, not distracting the words too much. Okay, there we go. I think I'm happy with that. You know, it's clean, it's dynamic, it makes my logo pop, it doesn't take away from the text over here. There's a decent subtext as well. And I'm also going to add a drop shadow just to make this logo pop a little bit more. So I'm gonna make the drop shadow go a bit to the left and reduce the blur, increase it. Let's increase the strength to 100 and then we'll reduce it to about 60. So that's the best way to work with shadows, is take it to 100 opacity and then pull it down so that you can get the most optimum look. Because you know what it looks like at 100, you know what it looks like when it's too subtle. Somewhere in the middle will be the sweet spot, and for this particular design, absolutely, as you can see, I've really hit that sweet spot. Great, I'm really happy with this, guys. I'm just questioning the color implementation here, like Wix Studio Agency Hub, there's a lot of colors going on. Maybe, you know, my brand colors offers these colors to be used. Perhaps the yellow is more complementary. I've seen Wix Studio as well use yellows in their content. I could also try stick to the orange, or I could, so that, you know, things just look clean that way, or I can stick to yellow and even make this bit yellow too. The most safest option is to stick to what Wix Studio is using. So like, you know, around their colors, which is this, but you know, I've made it a point, and it's very important to me to stick to my own colors. I don't want to ever sway away from that, and that's what my channel is about. You know, it's okay to throw in other logos in there with different colors, but my colors need to be my colors. I have a blue, but the blue is a bit too babyish and it just pulls, I mean, it works in certain contexts, it doesn't work in everything. So I got the green, the orange, and the yellow. Let's go for yellow, something different. I haven't done yellow in a while. I think it'll capture the audience in a positive way, different than what I usually put out there. So yeah, going with yellow. So there's my thumbnail, guys. Really happy with that. We can preview this in full by zooming in, or you can alternatively try using the presentation mode, which is a great way to preview your design, but also get feedback. Shoot it over to a teammate or whoever you're working with. So I'll use the grid view to find the exact design I'm looking for. So here's all my designs within this canvas, and I'll go straight to my Wix Studio thumbnail, which is this one. There it is, full size preview. You can zoom out just to get a bit of view of it. Looks excellent, man. I'm really happy with that. There you go. That's my process when it comes to creating eye-catching thumbnails on Glorify. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. I'll see you in a future tutorial. Bye.